Good day, everybody. I hope you all had a fantastic Wednesday. Today's Wednesday, still. It's been a long Wednesday. It seems odd that it actually is still Wednesday for two reasons. One being that I fell asleep in the middle of the day for maybe close to an hour, actually. I'm not sure. It wasn't like a sound sleep, but it was enough to like completely throw me off. But I was tired, so. So I opened today. Got there, things went pretty smoothly. Didn't quite get everything done before first customer showed up, and then the second customer showed up, and then the third customer showed up, and then the fourth customer showed up, and then the fifth. So I finally got everything straightened out and opened up after about 2 hours, and was finishing up a lot of the preliminary stuff by the time my mid person came in. Then she immediately jumped on and started prepping stuff, which was probably the only things I had left on my list, but it was also included on her lists of mid-person stuff to do. So she just jumped in there and started doing it. So she did that. I finished everything else up, then helped her out. Then we got a little busy again and had to work around it. And then the closer came in, and I finished up the few things that I said I was going to get done before I left, dishes and take out the two full trash cans and count the drawer down, and then I was out at like 2:30 instead of 2. So was what it was. We needed a little bit of help for a little bit of time, but no big deal. Came home, getting used to driving my new car, and then like I said, fell asleep, so I took a little nap or something basically, and then we went out to a friend's house, over to a friend's house from the drive. He was having to get together, and he was going to have a Mario Kart tournament. Fortunately, it wasn't a Mario Kart 8 tournament or a Mario Kart 64 tournament. Either of those would have been epic. Maybe even a Mario Kart Double Dash tournament would have been okay, because it would have meant pairing up and having a driver and a passenger. That would have made the tournament a little bit different, probably, as in more people would have participated as the gunner. Well, the better drivers would drive, basically. But we went with the lesser of the two bad choices, I guess. I don't know. Mario Kart Wii is alright. It's just not as good as Mario Kart 8 or Mario Kart 64, in my mind. It's like the third best one. Fourth best one if you count the handhelds. The 3DS, Mario Kart 7, I would say is better. Mario Kart DS, maybe even better than the Wii, in my opinion. But don't forget the original Super Mario Kart, but I would put that lower on the list as well. So Mario Kart Wii is like right in the middle as far as they all go. So it's alright. It was just I had to use the controls. Everyone else was using Wii wheels. The only ones who used the nunchuck connection was me and Heather. And first round I was paired off against this one guy who I'd seen in practice have a little bit of trouble, but surprisingly pulled it out and beat me 2 out of the 3 times. Got first place 2 out of the 3, and I got first place the second race. And so he wound up with more points, but the top 2 were going through, so it didn't matter. Me and him both went through. In the second round we wound up facing off again, and he didn't do quite as well. The other 2 were 2 girls who'd never really played Mario Kart before, and it was kind of funny to watch it play out. One person was like, because they were using the sensor control steering wheel, so she was like this, but she was sitting right next to me, so I was afraid she was going to bump into me, so she was throwing me off. And the other one was getting all this help from like this whole section across the room, and so they were making all sorts of noise. And one race she did terrible. The other one didn't do so great. The third race is kind of balanced. The second race is kind of balanced. The third race was, the other one did a lot better. So it was what it was, but me and the other guy wound up winning first and second all 3 times between us. So we went on to the next round. So in the next round I faced off against him, and I faced off against the host of the party, who had also made it through to the next round. He's pretty good at Mario Kart 2, because he wound up beating me. And the guy who beat me 2 out of 3 times, he wound up getting third place, so he got knocked out of the tournament. trying to remember, the fourth person was just kind of a random person that I don't know if he was. I was surprised he was in the next round compared to the rest of us. He didn't do very well. And in the finals, so it was me and Heather, who had also done really well. Had managed to squeak out victory over someone else who was constantly racing with her. And in the first time they faced off, first round, second round, also just like me and the other guy. In the first round, he beat Heather. Second round, Heather beat him. And unfortunately, that's the one that mattered more. Fortunately for him, that's the one that mattered more. So Heather got to go through. So it was Heather and me and the host and this one other guy who also wanted to be Luigi, but I beat him to it, so I was Luigi. And he did surprisingly well on his other rounds that he did, but this time he wound up coming in fourth. It was pretty close, pretty tight between me and Heather. Justin, the host, took off to an early lead. He had 2 wins under his belt. Me and Heather had the highest score going to the third race, and we did 3 races. So whichever one of us finished before the other, we were hoping Justin would wind up getting last, so that maybe whoever won could pass him, but didn't seem likely. And so after a lot of craziness that happened, including me having a shrinker cloud, which meant if I bumped into him, he would get the shrinker cloud and shrink. But the very second I was about to bump into him, Heather shot him with a blue shell and hit both of us with that blue shell. I got no warning from it either. It didn't warn me at all it was coming. So she passed us. I got shrunk. She literally flew over my tiny character. If she landed on me, I would have been squished flat and out of the race. And the 2 of them came around the corner, and 2 boulders came down the hill. We were on DK Mountain. And one missed both of them. The second one nailed Heather, knocked her out, and I made a wide turn and somehow squeaked behind that same boulder. And unfortunately, I didn't get the item I needed. I got a Mega Mushroom, and it was a windy path, so I didn't really get to capitalize on the boost of speed. So Justin stayed in first and won the third race, won all 3 races, but I was able to get second place, putting me above Heather. So in our tournament, Justin won. I got second place. Heather got third place. So, and they had this like homemade trophy. It was kind of funny to look at, but it was also kind of cool to look at that someone actually put it together to look like a real trophy, except for the fact that it clearly wasn't a real trophy. Anyway, I'm talking too much. I'm rambling on. So going into the finals, there was a 50-50 chance that that thing was going to be put in the back of my new car, that trophy, and neither one of us could pull it off, so he got it instead. So we got to keep it, and no one else had to bring it anywhere. It just stayed at his house because he was the host. Then after that, we went and we played Bezier Wizard. We played like 2 rounds, and then we ran out of time and had to call it. So it came down to, it was me and this one girl versus Heather and this one guy, and then this other girl came in. Oh, she's from Spain, and helped them, and so they were able to catch up to us. So we finished a tie at the end of the second round, and so rather than start another whole round, it was a tie. We had to break the tie, so we just each grabbed a tile. It was their turn first. They grabbed a tile. It was, I don't remember what the category was, but they didn't get it right. So then it was our chance. We got the tile architecture. And anyone who knows anything about me and what I know about architecture, there's one answer that I am ready for at any point in the architecture category, and that is the Guggenheim. And the question was, what 2 museums were designed by Frank Gehry, who I'd actually learned quite a bit about him and how he designed the Guggenheim in Bilbao, Spain, in one of my classes in college. I found that interesting because that was after I went to Spain and saw the Guggenheim, and then I learned all about the architect who designed it. And then I was able to go back and visit the Guggenheim when I was in Bilbao, my first year in Spain. So that was cool. So that was the answer. Guggenheim was the answer. And so the girl who's from Spain was surprised. She didn't realize that I knew as much about Spain as I did. See a lot of connections, and I'd actually told her already that I lived in Spain, but I guess she forgot or didn't hear it or whatever. Because when I told her again, she seemed surprised. So yeah, we're at 10 minutes. I've been talking too long. So we wound up breaking the tie. Me and that one girl won by one space, by breaking the tie, whatever, however you want to look at it. We left. We came home. It was a good drive. Me getting used to driving my car a little bit was fun. But now it's late and I've been up a long time, even if you count my nap. So I'm going to say goodnight, everyone, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.